Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at Warwick. But not just any Warwick, we're going to be looking at Grey Warwick, yes. This video is in part a thanks to all the people who have followed the channel over the years, because in recent weeks I finally had enough referrals to pick up this particular skin, Grey Warwick. This is a reward for 50 friend referrals. I actually have had a friend referral link in all of my videos. There's one in this one as well. Most people don't really even realize that, but I have had the link in there for close to 3 years now, and finally did have enough referrals to pick up Grey Warwick. So this is what the skin looks like. It is a very hideous recoloring of the default Warwick skin, but it's pretty rare. You may or may not have seen this skin before, so wanted to go ahead and take it out for a bit of a test drive and use it in this game. And I actually can talk a little bit about Warwick Jungle as well. So what do we have in this particular game? Well, it's another custom game taken from our Wednesday night YouTube games. There's more information on that underneath the video description if you're not familiar with how those go. In this game, we have on the blue side Falling Meteor playing and supporting as Janna, Flaring Co-Maniac, who is playing a laning Nocturne, something you don't see very often. He's going to be in the top lane as Nocturne. We have Ginger No Soul playing and jungling as Volibear. It is Sam playing as Caitlyn, and Glitter Power playing in mid as Swain. Then on the purple side, I am jungling as Warwick. As mentioned before, we have Cryovix playing as Fizz as our mid laner, High Legend, who is playing as our AD, Infinity Demon playing in top lane as Renekton, and Galio's playing as our support Lulu. So that is the setup for this match. This was a match where, Falling Meteor went and warded our blue. That was a very risky, very risky ward. I do not suggest doing that unless you have your full team with you, which they did not. Anyway, looked at this game, and it looked like this game was a game where our team was going to be favored a bit, largely because High Legend happened to be on my side. If he had been on the other side, it would have been probably favored in terms of the other team. But I figured, you know, this is probably going to be a more laid-back, relaxed game. This is a game where I can break out the Jungle Warwick. Jungle Warwick is not particularly strong in League of Legends right now. So I figured this is a game where we can break out and have some fun and play Jungle Warwick. And it turned out to be a pretty good Warwick game. So I'll go ahead and talk just a little bit about Warwick. Again, I don't really suggest people jungle Warwick or play him because he's rather underpowered right now. But in case you're curious, I'm just going to go ahead and go through a Warwick game. Okay, so what are Warwick's strengths and weaknesses? Well, one of his strengths is he does have pretty good lockup 1v1. He's pretty good single target lockup on the enemy team. He actually scales very well into the late game. It can become a near unkillable tank in the late game. His other strengths are he can clear the jungle while taking almost no damage whatsoever. He sustains incredibly well. Like, he just does not take damage when he's jungling, so that's one of his pluses. Weaknesses, he clears the jungle extremely slow. He is simply outclassed by many of the newer junglers. Oh, by the way, watch out for First Blood down here. In a second, up here under the tower, and up. Well, I guess that we did miss it, even though I was trying to watch for it. Down there in bottom lane, High Legend able to pick that up. And then we got a tower dive incoming here. Nocturne and Renekton, and they're both going to go down and kill each other in the process. So a lot of early game action. Anyways, I'm saying Warwick simply outclassed by a lot of other junglers. He does not have much in the way of a gap closer. So even though he scales pretty well in the late game, he clears the jungle very slowly. He is very weak in the early game. And frankly, there are just other better champions who play a similar role to Warwick. You know, there's not really any reason to play him over, I don't know, someone like, well, Volibear on the other team, or someone, I don't know, like maybe Jungle Zac or something is going to be similar in a lot of respects, but just stronger. Anyway, because both top laners died, I'm just going ahead and grabbing top lane farm here, so I was able to steal a little golden XP. That's always nice when you're a jungler. What I'm trying to do as Jungle Warwick is I want to get to level 6 quickly. My ganks are pretty weak until I hit level 6. Kind of need to get 6 and get my ultimate to be able to do that much. And I'm mostly just going to look to farm until I hit level 6, for the most part. That's what I'm looking to do. Okay, a little bit about Warwick. Let's just go through, I'll highlight his skills quickly. Here's his passive, Eternal Thirst. His basic attacks deal bonus magic damage, and they heal him for an equal amount. This stacks up to 3 times. So you do, if you keep auto-attacking the same target, you do get a little health back. This is what I mean when I say Warwick has great sustain. He can lifesteal off of creeps, and lifesteal off of whatever he's attacking. So keep this in mind whenever you're attacking as Warwick. It is better to prioritize one single target to stack up your passive. Alright, his bread and butter skill is his Q, Hungering Strike. You hit an enemy for magic damage. There's a flat value. There's also a percentage of their max health is magic damage. Oh, you can only do the flat damage. You can only do the flat damage to monsters. And then, of course, it heals Warwick for part of the damage dealt. So this is a skill that you max first. This is the skill that's most associated with Warwick. There have been times in the past where laning Warwick was really strong, and this was really the basis of that. So, in any case, as there's a kill in mid, but we'll keep the focus here for right now. In any case, this is your main skill, and you max this first, and it's what allows you to sustain. You got to be careful, though. It does cost a lot of mana. 80 mana. Note that he does not have, has a relatively low mana pool, so you got to be a bit careful with this one, but this is what allows you to sustain. His W, Hunter's Call, this is probably Warwick's best skill. It costs almost nothing in terms of mana, only 35 mana. Increases his attack speed by 40%, and all nearby friendly champs by half that for 10 seconds. So this is on a very long cooldown, but it scales extremely well into late game. This gives, pretty much is like giving everyone on your team a Blood Boil, Nunu Blood Boil buff late in the game. Like I said, Warwick scales really well in the late game, but he's pretty weak early on, so just keep this in mind. Oh, actually, I thought that Nocturne did not have a ward here, because he didn't react to me showing up in lane, but apparently he did have a ward. Anyway, we're going to come in here. I do have red buff. That's the only reason I have any real ability to gank, so my autos will slow. There's the Blood Scent trigger, and we're going to keep chasing, but we do not want to tower dive that. I actually take one more tower shot than I should have. Should have just taken the one. So anyway, I'm going to turn, and I look to leave, and again, Flaring Comaniac does have a ward. I was like, okay, he doesn't have a ward. I'm just going to come back here. And again, he makes no reaction to my coming in here. I guess needs to watch the minimap a little bit better. It's a trade between Nocturne and Renekton in top lane. It ends up being 1-for-1. I think that Infinity Demon, the Renekton player, could have escaped that if he'd played it a little bit better. I'm a little bit surprised that Nocturne... when I was playing this, I did not think he had a word up here because he didn't react to my showing up at all. Okay, anyway, note that the minion wave is just outside tower range. I want to shove this wave so that it hits the tower. That's why I'm still here. Knew that Volibear was there. We had a ward down. He's going to try to come in and gank me, so Ginger No Soul is going to flip me. But he's level 4, I'm level 6. If I had mana, I would just turn and fight him, but I don't have mana, so I'm just going to turn and walk out of here. Not in any real danger. Volibear would have done better to just come and take this farm at the tower, because he missed, he could have gotten 5 or 6 minion kills. That would have been more useful than chasing me and not really accomplishing anything. Alrighty, so other stuff on Warwick. I will mention his Blood Scent. This is a no-cost skill. It's more in the way of sort of a passive skill. Warwick senses enemy champs under 50% health, and he gains bonus movement speed. This is what allows him to chase people down. You need to get their health low, and then you chase them down with Blood Scent. You can, if you want, run Ghost on Warwick. You can run Ghost and Smite instead of Flash Smite, and that's actually not really that bad of a way to go. The only reason why I'm not doing that here is I'm just much more familiar with Flash than I am with Ghost, so I've just gone with what I know. I did ask Cryovix if I could take the second blue. Warwick really needs blue to be effective early on. You really want to give him the first 2 blues if you can. And if anyone comes in and counter jungles and steals your blue, you're going to be slowed down enormously. So I've gone ahead and taken this blue. I'm going to clear the wolves, and then I'm going to go over and clear red, which will be respawning as you watch me auto attack canceling against that tiny little wolf. Then finally, Warwick ult Infinite Duress. Warwick lunges in front of an enemy champ. He suppresses them for 1.8 seconds, attacks the victim 5 times, deals magic damage, and gains lifesteal for the duration. So this is your single target lockup. You jump on top of someone. It's a bit like a mini flash, actually, when you jump on top of them. Note that you hit the enemy 5 times. Your passive does trigger on these 5 hits, so keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind that the 5 hits do stack with Wit's End as well. And this is a reason why Wit's End is a core item for Warwick. And we'll mention that more as we come forward. Okay, so I have double buff. I'm going to have Blood Scent trigger. We just saw Nocturne get really low, so I'm going to come in here. There's the Blood Scent. I'm going to jump on him. There's my Infinite Duress. And that with a Q is going to allow us to get this kill fairly easily up here in top lane. And yes, that was in fact mean. So anyway, Volibear is trying to stick around, but he is actually a bit low as well. He just did blue, so he's going to fling me, and as soon as his fling is down, we're just going to turn and kill him. But watch this. Oh, Renekton, you needed to flash a little bit sooner. Flash does not pop tower shots. It did at one point in time, but it does not anymore. So Ginger No Soul is going to pick up that kill, and it will be a 1-for-1 there. But we come out ahead from this exchange because all these minion kills are going to hit the tower and no one is going to farm them on the enemy team. So overall, a 2-for-1, and we deny a lot of farm to the enemy team. So we came out pretty far ahead in that particular trade. In terms of the items, if you noticed, I started with, of course, the standard Hunter's Machete. That's pretty typical. When I went back, what you want to pick up on the first back, if you can with Warwick, is Madrid's Razor and Boots. That's the main, this is sort of his core starting build. You want the Madrid's Razor. This is what allows you to jungle. The Madrid's Razor synergizes very well with his Hunter's Call. Typically, you want Madrid's Razor on junglers that are very dependent on auto-attacking. Those that are dependent on skills want more of the Spirit Stone stuff. He's one of the few junglers that really does want this item. So you do want this, and you need Boots as a jungler. Now, I've picked up the No Magic because this is going towards Wit's End. Wit's End is the core item on Warwick. Over here, Swain's coming to take his blue. I'm going to intercept him on way. That was luck. I'd like to say I planned that, but it was more luck. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ult. Now, the Blood Scent has popped. I'm chasing after Swain. Fizz, I thought he would just use his fish here and we would be able to get the kill. Cryvix does not. I'm going to flash out of tower range. Here comes Ginger No Soul. He's going to flash after me. Now the fish comes out on the Ginger No Soul. Cryvix and I are going to turn, and we're going to be able to pick up that kill. A little bit of a misplay on Cryvix's part. No offense, but I had Swain locked up. If he had just tossed out his fish, that would have been a very easy kill. Meanwhile, there's another fight in top lane, and Renekton has snowballed ahead enough to the point where he's now winning these fights. Partly because probably because of the action up on top lane. There's got a 500 gold lead, and he's also a level ahead in terms of experience. So anyway, that whole sequence in mid, we got a kill. It went okay, but I do think that I was expecting a Fizz Fish to come out and not to be tanking that tower damage. Anyway, though. Okay, so I've now gone back a second time, and now I've picked up Wit's End. I will highlight this. You almost never see anyone build Wit's End in Season 3, but it is absolutely core on Warwick. It is his core item alongside Madrid's Razor. 40% attack speed, again, synergizes well with Hunter's Call. 25 magic resist. The passive, basic attacks deal bonus magic damage on hit. And this does synergize with your ultimate. When you use your ult, it will apply all of those bonus magic damage from Wit's End. And the final passive is basic attacks also grant +5 magic resist. Stacks up to 4 times. So you also get magic resist. But this is his core item, make no mistake. It will apply all the Wit's End stacks when you use your ult. Okay, another thing that just happened there, Warwick is very good at doing dragon. I should have bought a pink, but I didn't have enough money for it. So I went, bottom lane is ahead, High Legend is ahead in bottom lane, so went and just took dragon, because dragon was basically free. So went and claimed that, and it would have been a tough fight for them to come and contest that dragon. So you want to look to take early dragons. Once you have Madrid's Razor, you can solo the dragon as early as like level 5 if you have a pink and clear out their vision. Okay, so right now, I am getting ready for blue to respawn. I know that blue's going to be up soon. I killed it at about 7:30 last time, so it's going to be up in a few seconds. I came down here. I figured, hey, they don't have any wards in this brush, maybe I'll be able to do something, but their bottom lane was not there, and at this point, I was like, well, blue's respawn, I'm going to go and head up here and clear blue. A little bit about the theory of jungling. Now, I am not a jungle main, but there are some basic principles to jungling that you want to keep in mind. Note that our top lane is now snowballed so far ahead that Nocturne can't win these fights. What you want to do when you're jungling is you want to make use of your resources as much as possible, particularly your red and blue buffs. You want to do red and do blue very quickly, and when they respawn, you want to take them again so that you can use them again, because those are your strongest resources in the jungle. Like, my red buff's going to respawn in like 5 seconds, and I want to be there ready to clear red when it's back up again. A basic sort of rule of thumb when jungling is when you have double buffs up, you want to look to go out and, you know, try to make plays happen, try to get ganks, try to get kills. When you don't have double buff, play more defensively. You can just look to farm. It's sort of more the thing. But you always want to be making use of these buffs. You don't want them just sitting there for minutes at a time. And this happens all the time at lower levels of play. You'll see the red and the blue just sit there with nothing happening for ages on end. So you want to avoid that. And I mean, that's kind of basic stuff, but I still see it happen a lot. And ideally, you want to time the buffs and be ready to kill them when they come back up. Similar thing for Dragon and Baron. Alright, so Fizz, Cryovix roamed down to bottom lane. So I went and covered mid. I actually took quite a bit of harass from Swain while that was going on. And now Cryovix is coming in, and he's going to ping mid lane, so I'm like, okay, he's coming in. I'm going to look to initiate this. By the way, this is warded, so they should know about this. I'm going to initiate on Swain. Krivix comes in, uses the fish. Now we're going to look to turn on Volibear, and we have snowballed pretty far ahead, enough that we're able to turn and get that kill rather easily. So this is the strength of Warwick, the ability to initiate fights. You can lock up one target. That's kind of what he does. He locks up one single target, and he's really good at sustaining. Note that I'm almost back to full health again as a result of my passive and as a result of my Q, my, Hungering Strike. So, and we'll come here and we'll take the tower. Note that we are getting the Hunter's Call attack speed buff, and that does apply to Krivix as well. It's up to 60% attack speed boost right now. I mentioned this before, but in terms of skilling order, Q first, W second, 1 point is E. You can turn off the blood scent, but you almost never want to turn it off. You might as well just keep it on, keep it up at all times. And in bottom lane, High Legend is now snowballed ahead far enough that he's going to be able to pick off kills like this. Even behind the tower is going to be able to pick off kills. So, sad frowny face from It Is Sam, and I understand the sentiment. Up here, I see that Nocturne is low, so I'm like, okay, I've got double buff. This is a pretty easy gank. We just need to come in. There's the spell shield. I see the spell shield go down, so now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to jump on, use my Infinite Duress, and then a Q will pick that one off. Just waited until the spell shield was off, came in, ran behind, and that was an easy kill to pick off, again, because Nocturne's fallen behind here in top lane. And it's easy to get kills once you've snowballed ahead and they've snowballed behind. I'm actually 502 on the game right now, and if you look at the gold, I actually have more. Actually, I am just behind High Legend for most gold in the game, so way, way, way ahead, over 2,000 gold ahead of Volibear as a result of getting all those kills. So the game has just really started to snowball in our favor. I mean, you can see the global gold up there. It's about 8,000 gold lead, 14-3. This is not a close game, and it's getting less and less close, if that makes sense. I do want to talk about what I'm trying to achieve right now. Highlight my character portrait again. What you want to do after you get Madrid's Razor and Wit's End is you basically just want to get tanky. So I'm going for Randuin's next. If you have no idea what to get as your next item, generally just pick up Randuin's for Warwick. It's a really solid item. Health, armor, and you get that attack speed debuff here. Yeah, attack speed debuff. So this is really good at shutting down Caitlyn. It's pretty good against their team. They do have 2 auto attackers. They also have Nocturne as well. Even Volibear, it's kind of useful against him. So a reasonably useful item. I probably made a mistake here, though. I probably should have gotten the Giant's Belt component over getting the Warden's Mail component. Probably would have been better just to get more health. Anyway, Falling Meteor is going to miss his Tornado, and I believe that's going to result in his death right here. The Condemn hits, very nicely done. High Legend is a Vayne main in high gold, so is going to be able to pick that one off. And I'm over here on the bottom side of the map, and I'm just, looking to be over here. I mistimed this a little bit. I thought blue was going to be up a little bit more earlier than it actually was. So I'm there a little bit early. It's actually not up for another 30 seconds. Over here, though, the fight has continued from mid. Where is that Fizz Dash? Should be up any second now. And there it is. Krivix going to pick off this particular kill. There is a kill in bottom lane, though. Glitter Power did get a kill, but High Legend will pick off a kill on the back end of that. We will take rates, and Dragon's about to respawn. Again, as a jungler, keep track of timers. 11:42, Dragon respawns 6 minutes afterwards, so 17:42, and there it is. 17:42 respawns, and we're right here ready to do it. Slight mistake again. I should have had a pink ward to clear out their vision. I did not buy a pink. That was a mistake, and that is something I should have done. But as a jungler, buff control, dragon control is your single most important thing. Now, note what's happened here. Blue is back up, so I can look to go for blue. Instead, though, I come down here, and they do have a ward. They should see me, but they don't react to the ward for whatever reason. I'm going to Q and then jump onto Caitlyn. It's a nice Janna ult. Falling does a good job, but High Legend has snowballed too far ahead. By the way, note that Warwick ult can be canceled. Janna did a nice job of canceling that Warwick ult, but it just didn't matter in the end right there. And we're now going to take bottom tower. Unfortunately for their team, Flaring Comaniac's Nocturne ult does not ultimately pick up a kill. And we're going to take the tower. We now have all auto towers. And I'm going to roam back and try to... All right, no, never mind. I thought I was going to go back and get blue buff, but misremembered. Instead, saw that their red was up, went to claim red. I am going to take this red. It is more useful on me as Warwick than it is useful on buff is. Red buff is actually really strong on Warwick because it synergizes so well with his blood scent. They get low, you get sped up. You have red buff, your autos are slowing. They can't get away, and that's why Ghost is pretty good on Warwick. Right here, I could actually kill Nocturne if I had mana, but note that I am out of mana. I have 25 mana, so I do not have mana. See, I can just chase him down. Well, if I don't stupidly walk into Swain's route there. But, you know, I could just chase this guy down, but no mana, can't use skills, so not going to be able to get a kill. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to look to buy and make use of this gold that I'm sitting on. Again, if we look at the global gold, High Legend does have the most. He has 8k. I'm at 7k. We have the other solo lanes a little over 6,000 gold. And their team, no one has quite hit 5,000. So their team, again, is pretty underfarmed and pretty just in a weak position. And as you'd expect from being, you know, 12k gold down. And this feels like a 20-minute surrender game. And indeed, this one won't be going on too much longer. I picked up the Giant's Belt. As I said, I probably should have gotten Giant's Belt before Warden's Mail. Probably should have gotten that item first. There is a fight breaking out over here. High Legend is getting caught by the enemy team, but High can probably 1v5 the enemy team at this point. He has gotten that strong. We're going to come in here. Blood Scent. Where's that Blood Scent? There it is. Gets the movement speed boost. I'm going to jump in here. I will ult on the It Is Sam. That's going to allow the rest of the team to chase in. I get exhausted. That's a good exhaust, by the way. Going to use my Q. Everybody's running away. I'm still tanking tower shots, but I'll tank this tower just long enough to get us a couple kills. Cryovik's coming in, and he's going to pick up a double kill. High Legend gets another kill. So I managed that pretty well. Got out just at the right time. Could not afford to tank much more. Gallios gets executed by the tower. Don't know quite what happened there. But this one is pretty much over at this point, as we're still pushing in. But watch, I'm going to make a stupid mistake. I take the tower for some reason. Not that creeping. Oh, the Ignite's going to pick me off. And I was like, oh my god, seriously? My game gets ruined by that because of taking tower aggression instead of a creep that was right next to me, and then an Ignite. Oh, wanted that 607 game, but 617 instead. Anyway, though, High Legend gets the Condemn into the wall. And is he going to pick this one off? Yes, does get binded under the tower. Cryovik's is about to die. Oh, he's going to die, but no! The surrender comes through. And Cryovik's is going to survive with about 50 HP there at the end. Yeah, 91 at the end. So anyway, not a close game. Pretty straightforward, a one-sided romp for our team. That said, how often do you get to see Grey Warwick, right? I wanted to do this video just because I honestly think I've seen Grey Warwick in a game maybe twice in 3 years of playing. So wanted to play him in a custom game, and I wanted to showcase the skin as a way of thanking people who have been following the channel and have been sending me referrals over the last couple years. So anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the chance to see some Warwick gameplay and a skin that's not all that common. So anyway, until next time, have a great weekend. I'll see you guys again soon.